Kanahab relatives, Membiwa Tahushka Opimiha. What's good, relatives? Hope everyone is doing well. What you see in front of you is the channel, Opimiha Saponi-Catawba Nation. When you get a chance, come to the channel, subscribe, and also like the videos. And as always, relatives, much appreciation to you all. All right, so let's get into the video. And we're back into the family histories for this particular video. And we're back on the Maryland, Delaware side. All right, so let's go ahead and hop on into this. And as always, throughout the video, you will see the hopefully historical ancestry documents pull up on certain families and people as I read. All right, relatives, so we may hit about 4 or 5 families because these are not really long. So again, with the videos, if you see you know, some names, or if you know your families, you know, the surnames are showing up in your genealogy, and you see something as I'm reading along, you know, definitely jump into this website. It's freeafricanamericans.com. As always, dodge all hijacks, and let's get into it. So the first family we're going to start with is going to be the Carter family, and let's begin. Members of the Carter family were Anthony, head of a St. Mary's County household of 3 other free in 1790 and 10 in 1800. Next, we have Hannah Mulatto, head of a Charles County household of 4 other free in 1790. Next, we have Charles Mulatto, head of a Charles County household of 1 other free in 1790. Next, we have William Mulatto, head of a Charles County of 1 other free in 1790. Then we got Rachel, head of a Baltimore City household of 4 other free in 1800. Then we got Paul, free Negro, head of a Prince George County household of 8 other free in 1800. Next is Peter, head of a Baltimore City household of 6 other free in 1800. Next, we have Nellie, head of a Montgomery County household of 5 other free in 1800. Next, we have Jane, head of a St. Mary's County household of 5 other free in 1800. Next, we have Anne, head of a St. Mary's County household of 5 other free in 1800. Next, we have Stacia, head of a St. Mary's County household of 4 other free in 1800. Next is Polly, free mulatto, head of a Prince George's County household of 2 other free in 1800. Next is Philip, born about 1779, obtained a certificate of freedom in St. Mary's County on July 26, 1814. Age 30 years or thereabouts, complexion yellow, hair woolly, born free. Next we have William, born about 1784, obtained a certificate of freedom in St. Mary's County on November 4th, 1807. About 23 years of age, very bright complexion, was born free. And last we have Enoch, born about 1788, obtained a certificate of freedom in St. Mary's County on April 5th, 1838. Aged about 50 years, bright complexion, born free. All right, relatives, so that was the Carter family. And again, we did get some good information, even though it was short. We got family members' names, and it actually is showing you the census you can actually use to find them as well, because that's what I did and I found them. Also, when you start to get down here to some of these other family members, you start getting the dates of birth. All right, so again, that was the Carter family. If that's showing up in your genealogy, We got good information, so dig into this. All right, next we're going to do the Cardi family, Carty. All right, so let's get in it. John Carty, born say 1715, was called John Carty of St. Peter's Parish, laborer. Being a mulatto man begotten by a Negro man upon the body of a white woman. In Talbot County in November 1741, when he was convicted of marrying a white woman named Margaret Deepup on September 10, 1739. Margaret was sold to John Jones, tanner, for 7 years. The court fined Margaret, wife of John Carty, 1 shilling for assaulting John Jones in February 1742 and in November 1742. Jones sued John Carty for being absent from his service a total of 57 days in 1741 and 1742. All right, and then it says Margaret and John, they were probably the ancestors of. First, we got Samuel, head of a Hartford County household of 1 other free in 1790. Next, we got Solomon, a free Negro, sued in Kent County, Delaware court by Henry Farsons on October 7, 1796. Head of a Kent County household of 8 other free in 1800. Called Solomon Carter in 1820. Head of a Duck Creek 100 Kent County household of 4 free colored. Next, we have Peter, head of a Newcastle County, Delaware household of 6 other free in 1800 and 4 in 1810. Next, we have Nathan, head of a Kent County household of 2 other free in 1800. And next, we have Isaac, head of a Appoquiniminic 100 Newcastle County household of 4 free colored in 1820. All right, relatives. So again, that was the Carty family. We also did see in this, as we were reading, that they also called him Carter, the last name Carter as well. So Carty or Carter, you can go either way. But again, with this, we did get some good information again. Dates of birth, counties where they lived in. So if this is showing up in your genealogy, definitely dig into this as usual. All right, so next we have the Case family. So it says Mary Case, born say 1683, was a servant of John West on December 3rd, 1701, when church wardens of Accomack Parish presented her for having a mulatto bastard child. She was presented by the Accomack County Court for having another child on April 6, 1703. She was probably the ancestor of. We have Elizabeth, head of a St. George Parish, Accomack County household of 3 other free and 1 slave in 1800. Next, we have Major, head of a Accomack Parish, Accomack County household of 3 other free in 1800. Next, we have Bridget, head of a Accomack County household of 5 other free in 1810. Next, there is George, head of a Accomack County household of 2 other free in 1810. Next, we have Betty, head of a Dorchester County, Maryland household of 5 other free in 1800. And then there is James, head of a Dorchester County, Maryland household of 6 other free in 1800. All right. So again, relatives, that is the Case family. Again, not a real long family history, but you did get some information out of this. Kids' names, county that they lived in, and again, they should be showing up probably in the 1810 census, 1800 census, so definitely a good place to start looking. All right, so let's move on to the next family. All right, so next we have the Chambers family. All right, so let's dig into this one. Mary Chambers, born say 1698, was the servant of William Frisbee of Wharton Hundred, Kent County, Maryland, on November 22nd, 1716, when she appeared in court and confessed to having 2 mulatto children by a Negro. The court ordered her to serve an additional 7 years and bound her children, a boy and a girl, to her master until the age of 31. She was a servant of William Frisbee on April 22nd, 1718, when the court ordered that she serve him another 7 years. She was apparently the ancestor of. Now, before I read the kids' names, if you're still not quite sure of the understanding on people being bound, I would strongly suggest looking into it, looking up that information, because people being bound are usually for certain types of people, and you can definitely read into that so you can get a better understanding of it. All right, so the ancestors are William, head of a Kent County household of 7 other free in 1800. And we got Deb, head of a Baltimore City household of 8 other free in 1800. Next, we have Ned, born say 1760, a man of color, received arrears of his pay for service in the Revolution from August 1st, 1780 to November 15, 1783. He appeared in Anne Arundel County Court on June 20th, 1818 and April 21st, 1820, to make a declaration to obtain a pension for his service. He stated that he enlisted in the 3rd Regiment about July 1777 in Newtown, Chester. He was head of an Anne Arundel County household of 1 other free in 1790. All right, next we have Isaac, head of a Queen Anne's County household of 6 other free in 1800. Next we have Robert, head of a Queen Anne's County household of 5 other free in 1800. Next we have Elizabeth/Betsy, head of a Kent County household of 4 other free in 1800. Next we have Elizabeth, head of a Kent County household of 3 other free in 1800. Next is James, head of a Kent County household of 2 other free in 1800. Next we have, looks like Tom and Company, head of a Newcastle County, Delaware household of 16 other free in 1800. Next we have Joseph, head of a Newcastle County household of 8 other free in 1800. Next is Peter, head of a Newcastle County household of 9 other free in 1800. All right, next we got John, head of a Spotsylvania County, Virginia household of 7 other free and 1 white woman in 1810. Next we have Polly, head of a Spotsylvania County, Virginia household of 3 other free in 1810. All right, so again, that was the Chambers family. So if that is showing up in your genealogy, we got some good information as well for this family. Kids' names, county, dates of birth, also the census records that you can actually go into to see these individuals. Okay? All right. Moving on. Next, we're going to do the Chuck family. So Margaret Chuck, born about December 1743, was a mulatto child sold by the Prince George's County Court to Legan Wilson, gentleman, for 31 years in March 1743 to 44. She was a servant of Margaret Gibson on August 22nd, 1775. When the Prince George's County Court indicted her on 2 cases of mulatto bastardy for having children by a Negro, a Negro slave named Tom. The court found her not guilty of having the children by Tom, but ordered her to serve her mistress additional time for having illegitimate children. Benjamin Brooks was her security. She was apparently the mother of. So first we had Richard, born about March 1772, bound by the Prince George's County Court to Elizabeth Brooks until the age of 21. Then we have George, born about April 1773, bound by the Prince George's County Court to Elizabeth Brooks until the age of 21. All right, so that's the Chuck family. Definitely really short family history, so not much to go off of, but there's a few little gems in there that you could pull out. So if that's showing up in your genealogy, definitely dig into this. All right, so next we have the Chirp or Chub family. So let's dig into this one. It says Mary Chirp, born about 1736, was a mulatto called Mary Churl, with about 6 years and 4 months to serve when she was listed in the inventory of the Prince George's County estate of Mr. Turner Wooten on February 25th, 1761. And it says on August 25th, 1761, the Prince George's County Court presented her for having a mulatto bastard child. And it says on November 22nd, 1763, she had another illegitimate child whose father was probably a free man, since the court ordered that she serve her master and mistress, William Turner Wooten and Elizabeth Wooten, only 9 months for the trouble at their house. And it says on March 25th, 1766, she confessed to the court that she had another mulatto child, and the court sold her son Nat to Wooten to serve until the age of 31. And it says she was the mother of. All right. First we have Margaret, born 1756. And we have John Chubb, born about 1758, enlisted in the Revolution in Loudoun County, Virginia, March 19, 1781, and was sized on May 28th, age 23, 5'5" and a half, high, black complexion, planter, born in and residing in Montgomery County, Maryland. And then it says he may have been identical to Jonathan Chubb, who enlisted in the 3rd Maryland Regiment on January 1st, 1782. He served in the 6th Virginia Regiment under Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Posey from April 1st to September 1st, 1782. Served in Captain Claude Shelton's company of the 1st Virginia Battalion from December 1st, 1782 to May 1st, 1783, and received 100 acres bounty land. So that's another thing I would look into as well. If you do have family members that were in these like wars, I would look into this bounty land, because you can definitely usually find it or the records of it. Okay, and a good place to actually look up this information would be fold3.com. All right. Next, we have Dick, born about February 1760, a 1-year-old mulatto child bound to the age of 31 when he was listed in Prince George County estate of Turner Wooten on February 25th, 1761. And then we have Nat, born, say, 1766. All right. All right. Next, it says Margaret Chubb, born, say, 1756, a free woman, was the ancestor of. We got Esther, born about 1772. We got Robert, born, say, 1775, free Negro, head of a Prince George's County household of 2 other free in 1800. Next is George, born, say, 1777, free Negro, head of a Prince George's County household of 1 other free in 1800. All right, keep it moving. Next, we have Esther Chubb, or Chirp. Born about 1772, obtained a certificate of freedom in Prince George's County on May 26, 1817. About 45 years old, has a dark complexion. She was raised in Prince George's County and is free. Being a descendant of a free woman named Margaret Chub, she was the mother of. We got Louisa, born about 1793, obtained a certificate of freedom in Prince George's County on February 28, 1813. A Negro woman, about 20 years old, has a dark complexion. She was raised in Prince George's County and is free, being the reputed daughter of Esther Chirp, a free woman of color. Then we got Robert, born about 1801, obtained a certificate of freedom in Prince George's County on January 7th, 1822. A colored man, about 21 years old, light complexion, son of Esther Chirp. All right, so again, relatives, this is the Chubb or Chirp family. So if they are showing up in your genealogy, definitely a good thing to dig into here. And the other observation, again, that I've stated before and that I keep on seeing here as a common theme, if you look and see the dates of getting their certificates of freedom, and all that is that they made a law that said that, free Negroes, had to have some kind of proof that they were actually free. And so the point of all this is that most of these, if not all of these people, were not slaves. Okay. They were bound. They were with families who taught them a trade. And again, the dates that are shown on these certificates of freedom are way before the so-called African slavery. All right, just want you to keep that in mind. All right. All right, relatives. So I think that's where we're going to stop for today. And when we come back, we should be on the Clark family when we get back into the Maryland, Delaware side of the family histories. But again, as anyone knows, if anyone ever has any questions on any of the family names you're seeing, hit me up in the comments. And I always have this website posted in the link, or posted the link in the description of the video. All right, relatives. So I appreciate everyone taking the time to watch the videos as always. And I will see everyone next time. All right. So everyone, take care.